Welcome parents to our incoming ninth grade Parent Information Night for the 2021 and 2022 school year. We're going to be talking a little bit about our Eastvale STEM Academy program at Eleanor Roosevelt High School. And before we do that, we would like to make some introductions. I am Dr. Kim Law, and I am the director of the Eastvale STEM Academy. I've been at Roosevelt for the past 10 years, and I've been in charge of building up our Eastvale STEM Academy building, campus, and program for the past 5 years. We also have Mrs. Kelly Howell, who joined us last year, and she is our dean. And then I'll let our counselors introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Caroline Cabal. I am the counselor for students whose last names start with A through LI.
Hi, I'm Hilda Castanon, and I am the counselor for students with last names LL2Z. And as counselors, it's our goal to serve students and their families in the areas of academics, college and career, social, emotional wellness. We advocate for our students, provide them a supportive environment, and help guide them to their career and life goals.
And this right here is our Eastvale STEM Academy staff. For those of you who have either had students in our program prior or have been on our campus, you will know that it's kind of a school within a school. And so we do have our separate campus from Roosevelt, and we also have our teachers in various content area, as you can see here on the list. So we do have our ELA teachers, our history, our math, all of our teachers are here on this campus, as well as the administration staff and our counseling. So a little bit about our program, and then we're going to go into the requirements and what is expected of our students. So the founding principles of the Eastvale STEM Academy is access for all students, and that is why we do not have a GPA requirement, but we do have other requirements that we want our students and parents to carefully consider when applying completing an interest card for our program. We also really focus our work around collaboration, whether it's student to student collaboration or staff to student collaboration, or even school to community collaboration. And partnership is also very important for us. With a lot of with our two pathways, we also work with our industry sector to hopefully get our students out to get work-based experience. And overall, our instructional focus is project-based learning, and we also focus a lot on our students gaining the 21st century skills needed to be successful. Many of you may know that we actually have two pathways, but we kind of have a third pathway evolving. We do have a health science pathway for those students who are interested in going into the medical and healthcare fields. And then we have our second pathway which is engineering, and that is it also involves manufacturing, CAD, computer aided design, and then of course students in both pathways tend to take computer science as well. And so here you can see just a brief description of our building. Hopefully you have had a chance in the past to come visit us, especially during our community expo. So that is information on our campus. So with that, Mrs. Cabal is going to go over the enrollment expectations.
And so for the STEM program, there are expectations that we have for our students. We want to be sure that they are completing these 4 requirements. And so it's 4 years of math, 4 years of science, to the third level of a world language, and completing the 4 STEM 4-year plan. Our students also do take summer school, because with our program, we have our STEM elective that each of our students do take every year. And because of that, there are requirements that they still will need to meet for high school and for A through G, which we do push to the summer for students to take. We do encourage our students to maintain positive academic standing through their 4 years, meaning no Fs. Students will be placed on academic probation for the following semester otherwise. And it really is because when we have these classes planned for summer school, it's difficult for them to make up classes if they already have classes planned. And then our program does conflict with several programs at ERHS, which includes AVID, Puente, Unity, ASB, and Link Crew. And this is because each of these programs also has a period that students would need to take. And with students in the STEM program taking the STEM pathway, it would be difficult for them to be able to balance all of these programs together. We also expect our students to complete an annual science and engineering research project in 9th grade and 10th grade. And we'll go over more of what this looks like in a little bit. We expect our students to perform community service or to be involved in the community, whether it's outreach or impact projects. And this is because we want our students to have that exposure now to serve the people that they, the communities that they live in, because when we're talking about STEM and what it means to be in the STEM fields and the STEM program, we want to make sure that it's outward serving for our community. And then our students are also involved in the BYOD Bring Your Own Device program. And then here is an overview of what the STEM 4-year plan looks like. And so you can see that every year, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, there are subject requirements that they have on the left, years that are required and credits that are required. And within the STEM 4-year plan alone, we have built in the A through G requirements, the high school requirements, and at the bottom row, you can see the STEM electives. So for example, in 9th grade, students will take their language arts class, their math class, science class, world language, PE, and their STEM elective. And as Dr. Law mentioned earlier on, we have two main pathways, and the emerging computer science pathway. And so our students get exposure to that in 9th grade through the medical biology class. So that's the medical pathway. And then in the STEM elective, they take a semester of engineering and a semester of computer science. And by the spring of the 9th grade year, students will select the pathway they want to go on for the next 3 years of high school. And this is when they meet with their counselor, so either myself or Mrs. Castanon, and they let us know which pathway they want to go towards. And now Dr. Law will discuss our science and engineering research project.
Thank you, Mrs. Cabal. So one of the things that we are doing differently here at the Eastvale STEM Academy, and when I say different, meaning, right now what students do when they come onto a high school campus, a comprehensive high school campus, is that they take 6 classes and, to meet their A through G requirement, high school graduation. But, with our building and our campus and the way our program is built, we have the ability to kind of do some cross curricular collaboration to help our students gain those 21st century skills that I mentioned. And so we do have an access for all students. So that means a student doesn't need to have a certain GPA to get in, because we do believe that there are students who, may not be strong academically, but they can build computers and tinker with things. And so we don't want to deny all those students access, but what we do ask is for those students who are applying and submitting an interest card for the program, that they do have that commitment and the passion for STEM learning. And one of the things that is so important in STEM fields and having our students be prepared for STEM careers and STEM study in college is a research component. So yes, we do focus on the Common Core standards because that is a requirement with literacy and math and our SBAC and all that, but also 21st century skills. And so one of the things that we find that's very important for our program is the cross-curricular planning, meaning that we integrate all of those, from our math to our language arts to our science and to our engineering and all of the other content areas. So we'll talk a little bit about that as we go through here. So again, think about how science is approached in the real world, right? Students aren't just given a set of instructions. Oftentimes, whether you're a doctor or an engineer, you're given a problem that you have to try to solve. And so what are some of the skills for that? Obviously, literacy and math is important, but some of the other skills that we're talking about is, collaborating with others, trying to, solve that problem, critical thinking, communication, and being creative and innovative. And so again, on our campus, what we're focusing on is not just our standards, the Common Core standards needed to be college and career ready when they graduate, but also those 21st century skills and the scientific research. A lot of our students who have gone on, our first graduating class last year, one of the things that they found very beneficial as they have now started college is the science research skills that they acquired when they were here. And then we also want to teach our students to develop grit and perseverance, as they can't, just like doctors and scientists, sometimes you don't find the answer the first time around, but we want our students to be able to, think of different other ways of approaching that problem. So again, some of you may have seen this. This is the C's of 21st century skills. Character, citizenship is very important, but the 4 C's of 21st century is creativity, collaboration, critical thinking, and problem solving and communication. And so how do we do that? The vehicle that helps drive that learning, that type of learning, is project-based learning. And so if you read the statement here, too many students are unprepared for the modern economy and the challenges of 21st century. Project-based learning prepares our students for academic, personal, and career success, and readies young people to rise to the challenges of their lives and the world they will inherit. So a good example is, we're in this worldwide pandemic, right? And so we can imagine that a lot of doctors and scientists are asking the challenging question, which is, how do we develop a I'm losing the word, the vaccine for that. And so that's our challenging problem. So what we do here at the Eastvale STEM Academy with our science and engineering research project is to follow the design elements of project-based learning. All of our teachers and staff have been trained in project-based learning over the last 3-4 years. So we are all, whether you're an ELA teacher, a math teacher, and science teacher, engineering, PE, our teachers have been trained. So looking at the gold standard here, you can see that our projects kind of fit into it. So let's start with that challenging problem. As we start school in August, your 9th and 10th grade student will be thinking about a research question or developing a problem that they see that they want to solve or come up with a solution for. Then throughout the semester, our students are involved in sustained inquiry, where they work on their project throughout the semester. Through that process, they are identifying their why and a greater purpose. And oftentimes these projects or these topics are just something that the student is very passionate about, or something that they just keep wondering about. And then through the process, they are also, because they had the opportunity to choose their research, that it gives them their voice and choice in the project. So it's nothing that we assign to them, but the topic is something that they choose that is close to their heart. A lot of reflection going on from peer to peer, to teacher, to student. And then critique and revision, you'll see later on in the presentation where throughout the project that our students are given feedback to improve their project. And then at the end of it, what makes this so important is that it's not just a grade in the grade book, but the students are then sharing their product, their research to the public. And we can share a little bit about each of these steps in the next few slides. So we're going to show this video really quick. And if you subscribe to our Eastvale STEM Academy official YouTube channel, all of these videos live there. So we'll show you this really quick.
This video is an overview of the eSTEM Science and Engineering Research Project conducted here at the Eastvale STEM Academy. There are 3 phases to this project: research, experimentation, and finally presentation. Phase 1 of the project is the research. This phase is primarily conducted through the students' English language arts courses, where students will investigate existing research on their topic and become knowledgeable experts in all aspects of their project idea. It is a very important phase in which students learn how to identify verified sources, read scientific articles and papers, and build a base of knowledge to carry forward. Though it comes the first of the phases, the research will continue throughout the other phases of the project, as students will need to find more answers as they develop more questions. Within the first phase of the Science and Engineering Research Project, students will be assigned a teacher mentor to help them along the process. Phase 2 is the experimentation, where students put into practice what they've learned in research. Students here will conduct experiments or create prototypes, gathering evidence and logging their progress along the way. All students are encouraged to conduct as much of the experiment on campus as possible so that they can be guided by teacher experts. In this phase, our teacher mentors are invaluable. Each project will be assigned a teacher mentor who will help students stay on track, set goals, and work through problems. Students are encouraged to meet with mentors regularly through these phases. Phase 3 is the presentation phase of the project. Throughout the process of the entire project, students will put their findings into a digital poster. Students will have an opportunity in the presentation phase of the project to present their work to multiple audiences, first in their English language arts courses to their classmates, and then to a panel of teacher experts. From the panels, select projects will move onto our Eastvale STEM Expo hosted in January each year. From the Expo, projects will be further narrowed to those moving forward to the competition phases at the CNUSD Science and Engineering Fair, Riverside County Science Fair, California State Fair, and potentially the International Science and Engineering Fair, or ISEF. We look forward to continuing to build our program's success at all levels and support our students with opportunities for scholarships and networking with professionals. For more information on the project, please visit our official eSTEM webpage through the ERHS website.
Okay, so that is a quick overview. And again, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can review that video again, whether the student or parent or you both can review it. So that kind of just summarizes the steps. And so what makes the project so important is, giving back to the community, is that our students share that with our community as well. And so for those of you who had the opportunity to visit our Eastvale STEM Academy last year, our Eastvale STEM Expo. Last year, we held it on our brand new campus. The years before, we held it at our Eastvale Community Center. So I'm going to just show you what it's like, and then you can see that our students are able to share their research with the larger community. Whoops, let me go back and try that one more time.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you waited for. Searching in the dark is so buried in your bones. There's an ache that you can't ignore. In your breath, still in your mind, and all that was real is left behind. Don't fight it, it's coming from your mind and nature. It's in this moment, don't care what can get you. Yeah, feel a dream, can't you see you getting closer? Just surrender, cause you feel the feeling taking over. It's fire, it's freedom, it's flying open. It's a picture in your blood, there's something breaking in the prick of every one that's holding all that's yours. So tell me, do you want to go? We're covered in our light, where the runaways are running the night. Impossible flows to intoxicating you. This is the greatest show. It's coming on the lights. Runaways are running the night. Impossible comes true. It's taking over you. This is the greatest show. We light it up. We won't come down. And the walls can't stop us now. Watching it come true. It's taking over you. Cause everything you want is right in front of you. And you see the impossible is coming true. And the walls can't stop us now.
So as you can see, it's not just a night of our students sharing their research, but we're able to engage our community, and the little ones really enjoy it. So hopefully we're able to host another one later this year in the spring, but with all the uncertainties, we're not sure yet. But if you had the chance to attend one of our expos, you'll know what we're talking about as far as just sharing our student work with our community. And then of course, you know, from there, what happens to our student research, some of the best ones, then we enter into competition mode. I would say that for the last 4 years or 4 or 5 years that we've had our Eastvale STEM Academy, we have actually started to set records with our district science fair, as well as our Riverside County science fair, our state. Last year, for the first time in CNUSD history, 2 of our students, so from the same school and same district, made it to the International Science and Engineering Fair. So that's pretty huge for a program very young. So with that, I will hand it over to Mrs. Cabal to talk a little bit about the program and the components of it and how you as parents can help our students.
So thank you, Dr. Lau. With our project, what it is it's really built throughout the entire program and throughout cross-curricularly, so throughout all the classes. And so you can see here that our 9th and our 10th graders are required to complete this project, and our 11th and 12th graders, it's optional for them. We do encourage our students complete the project in 11th and 12th grade, both so that they continue to build their research skills, and also really because it's great for college application. So we do encourage that for them. We have our project built into Canvas. So Canvas is their learning management system, and everything's really built into there. So the timeline is posted in there. All the resources they would need is in there. And then the way they submit their various components of their project, it's built into that as well. For the project, we have staff mentors for each of the groups or individual projects. And so students are able to work with a mentor, whether it's Dr. Law, myself, any of our teachers. We are here to mentor our students and guide them throughout the entire process so they don't feel like they can't reach out to anybody, and we're here to reach out to them as well. And we work with students based on our expertise. So I work with students who are within the or working on psychology or behavioral sciences fields. Dr. Law works with students within biology, anything related to bio, and so on and so forth. We have office hours that occur twice a week, and we have various types of information sessions or help during this time as well. And so the mentors can choose to meet with their mentees during office hours. We've had like data days where students who are needing assistance in working through their data get help as well. And so office hours is utilized pretty heavily for the project. And then we have panel presentations. And so you got to see a little glimpse of that. And our students, they present in the classrooms, but then they also present to a panel of staff as well. And then from there, after that, they are able to present their project. We select a group of projects to present at the STEM Expo. So in the video, you got to see that. And then students advance to district, county, state, and international level from there. So here is what it looks like in Canvas, our project management. So we have the documents and forms they need, mentor information. So our contact information, how to contact us is in there, overview of what the entire project is and how to collect data. And then you can see on the right there, that's where they would submit their files.
And then just to add in through this Canvas management system, we all can access the project and give student feedback. And so I would say last year we managed over how many projects, Mrs. Cabal?
Oh, like 250, 300?
Yeah, about 250. And so this helps us. So all of the resources are there for our students.
And then here, this is our timeline. So you can kind of briefly see what we're looking for or what the teachers are looking for and when the checkpoints are. And then if you look at the highlighted parts, you can see that it's not just through the science class. We have ELA as the part where the students are learning how to do the research and submitting the research articles. And then we have science where the students are doing the experimentation. And then later on, we have the data piece that the math and computer science and engineering teachers assist with. And then also on the right here, we have the rubrics. So students get a good idea of right from the beginning of what we're looking for and where we can support them. And this is, I love this so much because this is really, when we're talking about cross-curricular collaboration and peer feedback, this is a huge part of what we get to do. So this is our language arts classes. We have 9th grade and 11th grade, and they're able to join together where they broke out into small groups, and our 9th graders were able to get feedback from our 11th graders who have already gone through the SERP twice through 9th and 10th grade. And they get that feedback right then and there, and they're able to do the revisements that they need and see which direction they should go with their project. And then here our students are doing a gallery walk. So they posted throughout the student union their questions and their hypotheses, and students from all sorts of classes, all sorts of language arts classes were able to walk through and provide their feedback. And then moving on from there, and supported with our science classes, is the experimentation and lab hours. And so this is an example of a project that the students did last year. And so this is a video that the students could present to the panel, as well as to in their ELA classes, and they would talk over this video and explain all the different steps that are occurring in the video. And this gives us a good idea as the panel judges what type of work the students did while they're going through their research project and their experimentation and lab work.
And so oftentimes our students, we encourage them to do some of the experimentation in our lab so they can get the help from our science teachers. But many of our parents are STEM parents. And so, it's kind of great to see our students, when we talk about the 21st century skills, our students actually reach out to university experts. They reach out to local industry, and they're going to their labs and doing the research. And so those are all the skills that will make our students successful beyond high school in the STEM fields.
And then, as mentioned earlier, the data piece is supported a lot by our math teachers and engineering and computer science teachers. And so you can see here, this is last year, we had office hours for how to collect data for SERP, and we had our teachers brainstorming together on the best ways to support students. And then we had the students attend these office hours to get the help. And then at the end of the first semester, students present in their ELA classes, really for the first time, their entire project. And so students are able to get that peer feedback before they go to the panel presentation. And this is our panel presentation. So students are presenting their project in their groups or individually, however they choose to do the project, in front of 4 to 5 staff members. And so you can see in the video that we want our students to be so proud of the project that they've spent the semester doing. We want to make sure that they are dressed for success. You know, they're all dressed great, and we're here really to encourage them. You know, we're giving them high fives to make sure that it can be kind of, you know, scary to present in front of a panel of adults, and not just any adults, but their teachers and counselors and admin. And so we're here to encourage them and be proud of what wanting them to be proud of what they've done.
And then to add to that, you know, as you can see, these are high school students. And I'm sure as some of you who are parents of an 8th grader is like, whoa, my student dressing up in a suit and, you know, being proud of their work. And this is relevant work that our students are doing. And so it is important for our students, again, for those soft skills that we talked about, right? Communication, being able to get up and present. You know, oftentimes our students don't learn to do that until they get to college. And so those are the skills that we're teaching them alongside, you know, problem solving and just doing scientific research.
And then here are the various supports for them. So as I mentioned, they have mentors who are there, any of us staff members. We also have peer mentors as well, where they meet, usually it was once a week, where they can get help from an 11th or 12th grader who've gone through the process to assist them and help however they can. Office hours, Canvas, so our learning management system, through lab time and Saturday school. So teachers provided extra lab time after school and even on Saturdays to help the students complete the experimentation part. And then parents.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the parent support, and I speak from a parent perspective, and I know Mrs. Cabal and Mrs. Castanon and even Mrs. Howell can say the same thing. Oftentimes we strongly believe that we know what is best for our students because they're still young and they can't figure it out. And so one of the things that we really want our parents to ask their students and to have that conversation is this something that they really want to do and commit to? And when we talk about the commitment piece, we also need the parental support, because even though our campus, we're very passionate about the work, all of our teachers in any content area, they're very passionate about seeing our students succeed. We also need our parents. And one of the things that I want to differentiate, and I know I've mentioned this before, and parents who have been through it, our current STEM parents can say this is not the same project that you probably helped your child in, you know, in 3rd or 4th grade, where, you know, it's like you try to experiment which color light, you know, helps a plant grow more, or if a plant with water or no sun, you know, which one grows less or whatnot. This gets pretty intense. And so where we ask our parents to support is to obviously to attend the meetings. We do have informational meetings. We don't just throw it out there for our students to sink or swim. We do have once your student, once we go through the lottery process and we select our students, we do have a spring parent meeting to touch base with our students. Now, I can't predict what will happen next semester with the pandemic that we're in, but we will reach out to our incoming students and parents to ensure that we have a smooth transition to their freshman year. We also, we put out some summer assignments for our students to kind of get their feet wet with the project. In the fall, as your incoming freshman, as your student comes in, we do have a parent information night specifically on the science and engineering research project. So you're well aware of the rubric, the timeline, and how you can support your student. And then also, what we ask is that for our parents to allow your student to engage in productive struggle. And there is research out there on productive struggle. If you Google productive struggle, you'll see that it's a healthy struggle, because sometimes our students are, you know, perfectionist, or they're so used to having to have everything perfect that when they fail, and a good example is, I've always gotten A's, and now I got a B plus, and now it's the end of the world. And I think our students need to realize that, in the real world, sometimes, it's a little struggle, and things aren't always easy, and it's not always perfect. We have a mindset here at Eastvale STEM Academy that, sometimes our failures are is our jumping point, to get better. So we encourage for that productive struggle. So one of the things that we talk a lot alongside that productive struggle is that we should never underestimate our students' potential for creativity and collaboration when we eliminate those boundaries and put those support systems in place to give our students their agency to self-direct their learning. So what does that mean? So many of you might say, well, my goodness, my kid, he's a ninth grader. He can't do this research. This is not possible. But what we've seen is, here are some examples of our ninth grade project. How do hypothermic conditions affect the generative rates of tissue in planaria? Or a student in ninth grade engineered an electric bicycle supplemented with solar cells and to assess and improve its efficiency. These are ninth grade projects. These are 13, 14-year-old students who were able to do this. And so I truly believe, and here at the Eastvale STEM Academy, we truly believe that if we are giving our students the opportunity to be creative and to be inquisitive, and with the supports and with our parent support, our students can do a lot of things that we have never imagined that they can do. And we've seen it, so we can speak to that. And then I'll let Mrs. Cabal kind of quickly wrap up our program.
Yeah, so we've talked about the enrollment expectations of our program. We've gone over the science and engineering project-based learning. Some other things that we do have are internships, partnerships, field trips, opportunities for our students to be in leadership, like the STEM ambassador program that we do have. And so that's a quick overview of our program. And here our students, they did get to go to the Loma Linda University Health System and get to learn more about the STEM field. So we expose our students to the actual field, so they get to go on these field trips. So they've gone to Loma Linda, Kaiser, JPL, a variety of places.
Yeah, so one of the things that we find very valuable here, and the building design helps with that, is that our students aren't just learning from a textbook, but they're also getting the work-based experience. So our students leave here knowing how to design and 3D print and how to create. Our students leave here knowing how to take blood pressure and how to draw blood. Our students leave here, with all of those work-based experience, and it helps that we have the building and the equipment for that. So this pretty much is our mission statement here. Is our goal is to prepare our students to be college and career ready in the STEM fields, and so everything that we do here is to prepare our students to be college and career ready. And so with that, that ends our parent information night. We're sad that we can't be in the theater in front of all of you like we have in the past, but hopefully this will allow you to go back and kind of review the presentation if you needed to get clarification. But we also want you to visit our website at bit.ly or bit.ly/Eastvale STEM, and we encourage you to go into the enrollment tab and then read the frequently asked questions, because I would say over the years, we've kind of compiled these questions and a lot of parents have the same questions. So read that first. And if you feel like that there's a specific question you need answered, under there, we will also have a link where you can ask a question and we will try to respond and post and update our FAQ. And then we try to keep those questions on for the future years, because most likely there will be other parents with the same question. Now here comes the important part. So how to access and complete. So we're going to let this run. So right now you're viewing this on a Monday evening. This video recording will be available for parents to review. We encourage you to have that conversation with your students, see if this is something that they are really committed to, from taking the classes to then the research project. Then our interest card will open on Saturday, November 14th at 12 a.m. and it will run for 2 weeks, and it will close, meaning that the link will become inactive on November 29th at 11:59 p.m. Anything thereafter you will not be able to access that. So make sure that you put that these dates and times on your calendar. We will also ask our two feeder schools, River Heights and Augie Ramirez, to send out a reminder during that Thanksgiving break for parents to complete this interest card. Then depending on what happens after that, as you know, our incoming class, we can only accept about 190 students. And so if we have more interest than we have spots available, then we will resort to the lottery, which will not happen until later in January. So again, all of that information is on our website. If you have any questions, feel free to click on the Google form and ask the question, and then keep visiting the website as we will post our answers to your questions on the website. So Mrs. Cabal, anything else before we sign off here?
No, that is it. I just want to make sure that you guys get excited about the program and really understand kind of what our focus is here in the STEM Academy. And if it sounds right for your student, great. We can't wait to meet them.
Okay. So with that, have a good evening. And again, please visit our website, read about the enrollment, read about our priorities, and read about the lottery. And if you have any questions, feel free to fill out the Google form and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Good night.